distinguished delegates in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to everyone. The topic of my presentation is deeper hydrocarbon play exploration in mature Upper Assam Basin. The outline of my presentation includes geological setting and stratigraphy of the basin. I'll go briefly on that, and the historical production of Oil India Limited with play input into that. Then I'll come to the prognostic resources and YTF of the basin. And then I'll jump into the deeper play exploration, mainly Paleocene Eocene exploration along the basement arc and in the southern part of the basin, and then deeper Miocene play exploration towards the frontal thrust belt area in the southeast part of the basin. So, as you all are aware that Assam Self is a composite foreland basin. It lies between Himalayan foothills in the north and Assam-Arakan fold belt in the south. It is bounded in the east by Mismi Thrust and in the west by the Mikir and Silong Plateau. This is the general stratigraphy of the basin. I'm not going into the detail of that. That basin is filled with tertiary sediments. What is important here is that exploration effort for more than 100 years has led to discovery of hydrocarbon in almost every succession of the stratigraphy, from the Girizan to the Paleocene Eocene. Out of that, actually, there are the three major plays, which is Paleocene Eocene, formations of Lagadang and Theria and Langpar, Oligocene Barrel, and Miocene Tipum. And these are contributing more than 90% of the production for the Oil India Limited. So at the start, Chandrasekharan sir has just said that Oil India is producing 3 million ton from the AZs, and play opening effort has played a key role into that. In the initial years, the barrel has been the main play, and it produced from the Naharkotia and Moran field. After that, in 1780s, Tipum play has been opened through discovery in the Zorazan. And since the early 90s, the Paleocene Eocene play has been one of the major play, and it is contributing more than 35 to 40% of the total production. So if Oil India has to sustain and increase the production from here, the exploration effort has to be, more exploration effort has to be put into that. So this is the resource assessment study which has been carried out by DGS in 2017. Assam Self has more than 6 billion ton of in-place resources, which is almost double with respect to the estimation which was carried out in the 1995. And out of that 6 billion ton, almost more than 70%, which is 4 billion ton, is in YTF category. And if you further break the YTF into different plays, we can see that the well-established reservoirs like Miocene, Oligocene, and Paleocene Eocene has more than 80% of the total YTF, which indicates that though the basin is considered as a mature basin, this play, which is producing from the long time, has still a lot of potential which has to be found out. So, coming to the deeper play exploration, this is the map showing Assam Self area with oil and gas fields and acreages in the north and south bank part of that. I have highlighted some of the structures with the names and joined it with the red lines, which indicates these are the structures and the fields which is the northernmost the structures and fields which has been discovered along the Brahmaputra river. Beyond that, there has no discovery of hydrocarbon. All these discoveries are at the Paleocene Eocene level. In the north bank, actually we got some shows in few of the wells, but it still elusive from the hydrocarbon discovery. Okay, this is one RC line from the northeast to southwest. The line has been composed with one 2D seismic. This is actually only 2D seismic line which has been sought over the river Brahmaputra river Brahmaputra, and it joins the north bank and the south bank of the river. We can clearly see the basement arc in the section, and we can also see that the most of the discoveries, or all the discoveries, has happened in the south part of the basin, and the northernmost discoveries is the Khagori zone. And if you draw, if you put, like, if you see the presence of the river on the seismic survey, which is indicated by the red line, we can see that arc, the arc still continues up to 3 kilometers from the surface position of the river. And if you take this assumption, at the Khagurizan level, at the Khagurizan well level, the arc is almost 6 kilometers from the well. And if you take these assumptions and go into the next slide, uh, considering the position of the arc from the start of the river with a 3 kilometer range, the arc is at the different distance from the different discoveries. So the belt I'm showing, this will be the belt in the southern part of the basin, which has a established Paleocene play. And the total length of this belt is almost 150 to 200 kilometer. And if I take average uh, uh, width of the band, 10 kilometer, the total area for the exploration will come around 1500 to 2000 square kilometer, which is significant if you consider the play, for the play which is already established in the basin. So, considering this exploration potential in my mind, Oil India recently acquired almost 23,000 line kilometer of the SSG data. And after that, actually, an integrated study has been carried out, combining all the available 2D, 3D well data and the recently acquired SSG data, and also the conceptually mapping concept where the data, where there is no data, especially in the riverine area. And to generate an integrated understanding and the configuration of the basin. Based on that, one prospect has also been identified. The prospect is at the Paleocene ocean level, but the one challenge here is that the prospect has to be proved from the suitable surface position from the south or the north bank of the river. And it will draw a huge horizontal displacement, like more than 2 kilometer or 3 kilometer. So considering the TVD, which is around 4,000 meter, the total well depth will come more than 4,500 meter. Uh, in addition to the potential play in the northernmost part of the basin, another area which is also very interesting for the Paleocene Eocene play is southern part of the basin. In the left side, you can see the structural map at the Paleocene Eocene level. The hot colors are actually the shallower part, and as we move towards the south, the basin dips, and it is expected to get greater depth in that. In the right side, you can see the play map actually. This map has been prepared based on the structures which has been drilled. The orange color structure polygon which you are seeing at the top, these are the established Paleocene Eocene play, from where we are producing oil. And if we go to the south, we can see the more green and yellow color. These are the Oligocene and Miocene play. So in the southern part, actually Oligocene, Miocene play has been established. So very less exploration has been carried out for Paleocene, Eocene play in the southern part of the basin. In the southeastern part, you can see the pink polygons. These are the established Girizan play in the frontal thrust area. This is the gross depositional environment map on the Paleocene Eocene formations. In the left side, we have Langpar, and in the right side, we have Lakadang area. We can see that the terrestrial input was from the north, and as we move toward the south, we are expected to get more distal faces. And as we move from the Langpa to Lakadang area in the sedimentary succession, the distal faces is moving towards the north, which indicates the marine transgression towards the north. This also indicates that we are going to get I will not say inferior, slightly tighter reservoir faces towards the south. So, considering the success of this play in the northern and the central part of the basin, similar prospects has been identified in the southern part of the basin. This is one section from one of the area, which is Namru Borhat area, in which the a Paleocene play has been identified at the depth of more than 5,800 meters. And interestingly, we have established hydrocarbon at the Oligocene Barrel and Copeli level. So this play is going to be very interesting for the Paleocene-Eocene play. Apart from the Paleocene-Eocene play in the north and the south part of the basin, one play in the frontal thrust area, which has not been explored yet, is the Tipam Formation. So this is some sections from the established Giruzan play from one of our fields, which is Kumchai area, where we get hydrocarbon from the Giruzan sands. These sands are basically lenticular in nature. So, like I've said that Tipam with which has a similar structural style with respect to the similar structural style compared to the Giruzan. And if you see the hydrocarbon generation and migration in that area, the play is going to be very interesting. And unlike the Giruzan formation, which has a landicular strand bodies, Tipam has been deposited in fluvial environment. And we are going to get thick reservoir sand in the Tipam formations. And similar to the Paleocene play, this play is also going to be encountered at greater depth, and that the depth range will be in the range of 5,800 and 6,000 meters, which is very high. So coming to the summary, we can see that hydrocarbon resource assessment study has indicated huge exploration potential of the basin, which is yet to be found. And the established play carries more than 80% of the YTF at present. And the Paleocene-Eocene play up to the northernmost limit till the Brahmaputra arc will be very interesting exploration, and it will open more than 1,500 to 2,000 square kilometer area for the established play. Similarly, that play is also very interesting in the southern part of the basin. Though the depth will be high, this play will be very interesting, considering the success of this play in the north and the central part of the basin. And Tipam play in the frontal thrust area, mainly in the southern east part of the basin, is also a very interesting target. The prospect that I have talked about, they all are expected to be encountered at the depth range of 5,000 to 6,000. So use of fit for technology for drilling and production will be required for that. And one more thing I want to say that though this play are in the relatively easier area in terms of geological risk, but they are actually difficult oils and going to draw huge exploration cost. Therefore, a mechanism has to be devised to reward the expedition efforts carried out by the operators in that area. Thank you.